wanted to try to do something a little bit different. Um, I wanted to do more of like a VOD review style video where I go over one of my recent games and kind of explain, what I was thinking, why I made the decisions I made, kind of say what I think I should have done differently, um, kind of just go over it with you guys. So that we could learn a little bit about how I could be more efficient with maybe my roll downs or my decision making, or give some perspective on decisions that maybe weren't the best, and just kind of go over my general strategy about climbing for diamond or for masters. But first, I want to give a little bit of a background about myself. So I started playing TFT in set six, and I was in school at the time. I had a lot of fun, really liked the game, and kind of played on and off since then. My the highest I ever got ranked was Diamond One, and I was always kind of mad at myself for never actually reaching Masters. Before I started playing TFT, I was a long time League player. I played League since I was like 12 years old. Um, and yeah, so just kind of been casually gaming since set six, but decided to just make some content. Sometimes I stream on Twitch, so I figured I'd start posting some YouTube videos, kind of a fun side project. And yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the videos. So the game we're about to watch was I thought was a good example because it's kind of an unconventional opener in terms of slamming items. Um, it's a sort of a good game to look at as a game where we're win streaking, and we're just trying to play strongest board and kind of continue to streak so that we can save ourselves as much HP and hopefully top four later in the game. And one of my favorite comps to sort of play from that position is Master Yi. I think it's a pretty strong board. It's kind of hard to pivot into. So if you're win streaking with Primordian or Marauders or Challengers or Rogues, I think that Master Yi can be a good place to end up. And it's sort of an easy board to play from ahead. This game we'll kind of go over whether it was the right decision, things we could have that we did really well, things that we could have done better, um, and yeah. So hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of style of video. I think it's gonna be kind of fun for me to make. So stay tuned and hope you guys enjoy it. So let's dive into the video. Early on in the game, I'm usually looking for pairs, specifically frontline pairs. Um, Most of my level one will be decided sort of on what the game gives me in terms of a front line. Just because if you don't have a front line, very quickly you probably won't have a back line. So looks like here we just buy out the shop. And yeah, we're definitely thinking about what comp we're going to be playing or whether we're going to be leaning AD or AP. So let's see what we get here. So we get a cloak and we get a belt. Let's see what we do here. Yeah, so we're buying our frontline pairs. I think here we're thinking about playing AD just because our immediate slam is an even shroud. So most of the time you don't really want to slam even shroud. Uh, there are some times when it's okay, and I would say that usually that's if you're playing Primordian or some sort of rogue opener. Augment here. I think we have a pretty weak start, so I would imagine that we're probably looking to Either take econ or something that's going to make our board a lot stronger. I'm going to pause here. So we see salvage bin, clear mind, and speedy double kill. We don't really have a Rage Blade opener, and Rage Blade is pretty inflexible. It's kind of BIS on a couple forecasts, but for the most part, it's not the most flexible item. LeBlanc really likes it. Kaisa actually doesn't really want Rage Blade anymore. I'm pretty sure BIS is like red buff double Kraken, so um, yeah, I'm definitely not taking Rage Blade here. Clear Mind, not the biggest fan of. I'd rather the other one that gives you XP if your bench is full. And then Salvage Bin here actually is looking pretty decent, so I would imagine we would kind of roll the other two and then see what happens from there. Yeah, so we get Birthday Reunion, Frontline Foundation. I do like Frontline Foundation in this kind of spot because well, I guess we don't like it here, but I do like Frontline Foundation uh, in general. It's pretty good just to get a solid frontline, and then later on in the game, you can either go for like vertical frontline trait or it just kind of ties in nicely with some of the 5 costs. Um, Here, it's definitely between Birthday Reunion and Salvage Bin. I'm pretty sure I take Birthday Reunion. Let's see though. Yeah. Okay, nice. So we can play 4 Brawler here. It's a pretty strong opener, and I would imagine that now we're definitely slamming Even Shroud, and we're going to try to win streak. And probably didn't need a slam for this fight, just because this guy's sacking. But next thing we're thinking about is definitely making econ. And yeah, we just sell our entire bench. So we're in a decent spot. In this position, we're mostly focused on whether or not we can keep our streak. And then we're definitely thinking about, you know, Even Shroud definitely puts us in an AD line. So I think for me, I'm always thinking Master Yi from a spot like this. Because other than Master Yi, it's pretty much 3 cost reroll. Sounds like I thought the lobby was pretty weak. And yeah, it's usually either Corki or Zaya. And Corki we could play, but Corki really wants a lot of sword items. Um, so from this spot, we're still waiting to see. And yeah, it looks like we're going to win these fights pretty easily. Definitely could buy the Jacks. And the Meepsy pair. Makes me think about Corki a little bit, but not really great on our board right now. Yeah, looks like we're not really interested in pivoting to any Meeple board from this spot, which makes sense. Um, could think about putting in Timebreaker um, on level 5. I'm wondering if I check the Psionic at this point in the game or not. And that's why maybe I'm holding the Pike. Yep. So nice. Looks like we're able to keep our streak. And then looks like, yeah, we are thinking about maybe putting in the Time Breaker. Don't buy Melio though. So let's pause here and rewind a little bit. So Storm Hex. Um, First time ability or an ally and the Hex hits an enemy with ability. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Storm Hex. I don't usually take it. Um, it seems like good with like champs that have a lot of AoE. But yeah, if we're just trying to keep our streak, we know that other people could take the Evelyn boon, so I think that's mostly why we take it here. Just so that we can maintain tempo with the rest of the lobby. And then here, I'm definitely thinking, yeah, I'm definitely thinking chain. Um, Tiers are pretty useless, other than maybe building like a um, what the hell's the tank item with chain and tier? But yeah, rod tier not really useful. Chain can build into Edge of Night, can build into Gargoyle, and wow, we hit the Pike 2. And obviously, Gragas here would be really great so that we could replace Cho'Gath and get in Psionic. I just don't think Victor's worth putting in over 4 Brawler. But yeah, I generally think win streaking is a lot stronger than lose streaking this set. Um, if you have Anima, it's pretty good. I'm not the biggest fan of time breakers, but if you have time breaker, Primordian, or Anima, then I don't mind losing. Or if you just really know you cannot build a strong board at all, then you can consider just kind of playing full open. But I'm not the biggest fan of that because stage 3 definitely does not feel as free as it used to. And I find people can really punish you if you do not hit a giga strong board on stage 3 and you just sort of like, you just cannot build a mediocre board on stage 3 and expect to survive if you sacked stage 2. Especially with the boons and stuff and the gods, it just adds a lot more sort of prismatic energy to the game. Um, that makes me less of a fan of lose streaking. So I'd be pretty surprised if anyone could contest our board on stage 2. We just have too many 2-star 2 costs. And the 4 brawler just makes our team just so tanky that if people just have a split of, 2 frontliners, 2 backliners, I just don't think it's going to get the job done. So we're definitely feeling pretty good. And we do manage the 5 streak, which is the dream. So at this stage of the game, I definitely want to be thinking about what kind of augment we want to take next. So there's kind of 3 that come to mind. There's an econ augment, there's a combat augment. It's kind of 2, honestly. Econ augment, combat augment. We get a tier. We get a bow. So we could consider slamming Titans. I don't think that's a good idea. I would definitely level here and play Timebreaker. Our board is pretty strong. I don't know if we'll be able to win out stage 3, but I definitely think that we could go for 6 win streak. And then I think I'd wait to see a maybe should have put even shroud on Pike. I think that's what I was thinking about doing. I do like reforging the tier, and it doesn't look like we need to slam like a full completed item here to win, so we're pretty happy. So I could definitely see taking an econ augment here and just trying to rush into Yi and then go 9 and then, finish with the top 4. Yep, totally agree. Um, so here, there's on a roll, find your center, size matters. So size matters, I definitely remember considering just because we are playing brawlers, and I'm thinking that, okay, if there's any frontline trait that can easily get a unit to 3600 max health, it is brawlers. And so, how good are uh, ginormous HP tanks with Warmogs going to be on my board? Pretty good, probably. I am a little concerned at this point in the game about not having that many damage items. And if we want to play Yi, I think you kind of need Edge of Night and you kind of need Giant Slayer. And so I'm definitely looking for anything that's going to give me either items or it's going to give me econ and I could just build a stronger board and the items don't really matter. So I would probably triple reroll this. Let's see what I do. Yeah, so I'm thinking about Warmogs. Yeah, no items, and so we take an econ augment. Yep. And I definitely think I should level to 7 here, get 3 time breaker. We can start getting some rolls or some XP. And we do get a TG because we did take birthday reunion, so don't know if I was thinking about that or I just leveled to 7 just because I thought it would be a stronger board, but definitely the right call to level to 7 because we do get a TG out of that, and we could just keep having a strong board here. So this guy looks like he's playing maybe like Jinx reroll. Um, yeah, no way that he can beat our board. Here, there's not much to think about. Um, obviously, we'd kind of like to hit some upgrades if we could. We could think about maybe buying double Rost. Um, oh, looks like. Hold on. So it looks like yeah, we put in 6 brawler rather than time breaker. I think we're just really focused on continuing to streak, and you could debate whether or not it's more correct to play, time breaker or 6 brawler. I think 6 brawler is better, obviously, if you want to win, and then time breaker is a little bit better if you're okay with kind of ping ponging back and forth and sort of sacking the stage to try to go 8 fast on 4-1. Here, definitely at random emblem. I think Master Yi is one of the best comps for random emblem as well as like Jinx reroll, just because having an extra Marauder Challenger or even Primordian sometimes is really good. Brawler emblem's really good. Just a lot of emblems are really good in that comp. I definitely think it's the best comp for emblems. Other than obviously like if you get like Dark Star this, but honestly I just think the most flexible comp for emblems is definitely Master Yi. And we're definitely trying to play Master Yi at this point. I mean, we're level 7, rich. We see the double Corki. We're like, nah, not even interested here. We do have the Edge of Night. That's awesome. Darkstar emblem. So this is something that, I should probably know by now. I've probably played about 90-ish games this set. I think that Darkstar Execute works on non-Darkstar units. So it's not the worst emblem to have here. Let's try to see if Pike executes people. Yeah, I think he does. So yeah, I remember thinking about this when I was playing. I'm thinking his Darkstar Emblem actually might be pretty good here, but if that doesn't work the way that I think it does, yeah, let me know in the comments. So so far, pretty easy game. Hit some good units. Definitely, some people would look at this game and they'd be like, man, pff, birthday reunion, Pike 2 off the Evelyn boon, like you're high rolling. But I think we definitely made some good level 1 decisions, and then with the units that we were looking to keep, and then also we've definitely are proactively trying to maintain this streak. So it's sometimes it's just a culmination of the little things, but and yeah, it looks like we're just sort of trying to figure out what units we want in our planner to for our roll down. I'm pretty sure I don't turn on like the toggle, so even when I do roll down, like the little thing doesn't show up for these units, but not seeing that. We got Urgot pair, Cho'Gath pair. Definitely don't care about Cho'Gath that much. Looking for Tom, Yi, Kindred. Akali needs to get in so that we can get precision. Aatrox, I'm probably thinking about if we on a roll down, if we see an Aatrox, holding on to that just for the Sunder. Don't have anti heal. Our our psionic item does give us some Sunder too. I'm pretty sure it reduces armor. So yeah, here we're definitely gonna try to roll a little bit. Man, I would be rolling. Okay, yeah, we gotta roll. I think I just messed up putting Kindred on my board. Yeah. So we have triple chain. We could make a Sunfire cape. I think we definitely want some real tank items though. But anti-heal is definitely important. I historically undervalue the anti-heal. We do have a Sunfire cape off our TG though this game or this round, so we don't really need to slam right away. There's the Giant Slayer, right? So we're lacking damage items. Glass Cannon, not really the comp for Glass Cannon. Booster Pack is a decent econ. Maybe we hit a 5 cost like Fiora, but I mean, we're ahead right now. I think we don't mind sort of sacking a couple rounds in stage 4 to sort of get our board to where it needs to be. But yeah, Indiscriminate Killer. I don't know what the stats say, but definitely really want a Giant Slayer on our Master E, so I can't imagine us really taking anything else here. Yeah, and who knows if I even read those other augments, to be honest. We hit our Kindred. We have Shen Pair. Hmm. I don't know why I'm thinking for so long. I think I was thinking about whether or not that should go on Kindred. And I think if I remember correctly, I do end up moving it over to Kindred. Dude, you can see me thinking about slamming the Sunfire Cape, and I would bet a decent amount of money that I don't end up slamming it because I'm too greedy. So I think here we're just trying to figure out how we fit Tom into our board, and then we should definitely be trying to hit our Master E2 and start thinking about sacking a couple rounds and trying to go 9 so that we can hit Fiora. Because this comp is. It says it's a level 8 comp online, but it secretly wants to sort of be a level 9 comp just so that you can fit everything that you want to fit. It's hard to fit 4 Marauder, 2 Challenger, 4 Brawlers, all on level 8. So, yeah, and here I think we realize, is when we realize, like, 1, we don't have a Belveth, and 2, I didn't even click the toggle to for my roll down. So let's pause here. Solar Hex gives us the option to get anti-heal. And Blood Pact allows us to lose some HP to get some gold. It's pretty close. We do have Sunfire Cape, like, that we could build, and then we could just take 13 gold and call it a day. But I think I'm sort of trying to greed my items so that I get more real tank items. I don't know if that's correct or not, but let's see what I do. Oh, so sorry, we don't have Sunfire Cape anymore. We did slam like more real tank items, so yeah, definitely taking the anti-heal here is better. And then I probably QSS or Kraken for Kindred. Probably Kraken on Kindred just because she's 2-star. Grab Belveth. Nice. So yeah, see, it's kind of like I'm probably thinking here, like, how do I fit 4 Marauder and also Shen? Like, Shen's pretty good here, just as a generically good unit, but this is probably the best board that we can make right now. Obviously, we need to still star up our Master Yi. We'd like to be playing Tom over Pantheon for sure. But as you can see, it kind of doesn't really matter what I do from this point. Like, obviously, yes, I can, like, just sort of sit here on this board and sort of bleed out and lose the game, but we're definitely in a really good spot to easily top 4 from this position. I think I was tabbed out to probably look at the stats. And here I think we're like, this is the point where I sort of accept that, okay, maybe we just sack a couple rounds here and try to go 9. And then hopefully we can sort of hit uh, a Fiora and also some of these other units. I don't know if that's correct, whether or not I should be rolling, but I definitely do want to be level 9 here. So, and there's like 1 round here, so it's like I kind of like think based on interval, it's okay to sack this particular round here, and it looks like I might have even actually win, just because this Pantheon has real tank items. And I do remember the lobby being really heavy AD, so I actually think the Thornmail is kind of bis here. So there's a Declaw, there's a Hodge. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a third item on either of my carries. What do we take? take a tank item or a QSS. Don't know if I agree with that. Maybe I'm feeling like moving Even Shroud over to Master Yi. We hit Shen 2. Yeah, I think we're too poor to go level 9, so it's time to roll. We hit our Master Yi 2. Looking for Tom 2. Nice. And then from this point, the game sort of plays itself, I would imagine, right? You sit on this, you hit the Fiora, and you try to go 9, Fiora 2, play Shen 2, call it a day. And yeah, this is sort of the power of that, win streak start. I have 83 HP. I'll probably win some rounds. I'll probably lose some rounds, but from this point, it's probably an easy top 4. And if we can make it to 9, then maybe we can do even better. At this point of the game, it's just kind of about item optimization, making smart decisions, understanding who our carries are, all that shit. I like this positioning for the Yi board because it's basically what it's trying to accomplish is by having your units on either side, you sort of collapse the middle of the board to either side, and so you split their units. Because what ends up happening with Master Yi is, and we'll see if it happens, he'll sort of kill the first unit on the left, and he'll sort of kill the front line and go from left to right, and he won't actually make it to the back line a lot of times. So by splitting your units on either side, you can sort of avoid that, because yeah, you'll sort of see as the fights play out here why that kind of works. I didn't come up with that, obviously. I saw that on I think it was Wajan Iverson or somebody taught me that one, so shout out. Um, but yeah, you kind of want to wrap. Obviously, you want to wrap because if Mastery just gets stuck on front line, it's not the greatest. But that is why we build GS, because you do want to get through that front line before you get to the back line, and GS is just great at doing that. And then with this augment, once he makes it to the back line, it's barbecue chicken from there. And I mean, I don't even know if this board is actually unacceptable. But our Master Yi is dead. Yeah, but our Tom is just tanking that. So top 5. Can't imagine we won't top 4. So here we already have Sunder with Even Shroud with the Psionic item. So I think we can do better. We already have anti-heal. Yeah, it's probably Deathblade for Kindred. And how much gold do we have? So we're not rich enough to go level 9 again. Remember I said earlier on, like, this comp kind of wants to be level 9. To top 2, it needs to be level 9 in my opinion, because you kind of need to play uh items on a Fiora 2 plus another 5 cost to really have enough to get there. Like, this is a really strong stage 4 and 5 comp, but once you get to top 2 or top 3, like, other comps are just going to cap higher than this. That's why I like this comp from ahead, because obviously if you're losing and you're looking to win out, I don't think this is really the comp to play. Obviously, you can win with it, but it's more of sort of like a top four, you know, comp. So again, here, not really much to think about. Definitely just trying to go level 9. 91 HP. I don't even know how we're healing. I think it's from Evelyn Boone or something. If I do remember, there is something kind of silly that I do at the end of this game that doesn't end up working. Not much to think about, honestly. These games sort of play themselves. But I think it's a good one to review just because, you know, this is kind of how I view the Master Yi comp, right? Like, and I kind of want to keep reminding myself of that. It's a good comp to play from ahead. It's not a great comp to play from behind, and these are the kind of spots where I think it's really great. Wow, we hit a Sona 2. Mm, better than Shen 2? I don't think so. Probably going to end up selling it to hit Fiora 2. And maybe looking for Shen items, looking for Fiora items. Could see us taking Edge of Knight, could see us taking Hodge. Maybe JG, but probably want to do Hodge over JG just because we're thinking about Fiora. Mm, I don't know if I like that. It's flexible, it can go on Shen or Fiora. So we can do a little bit of like play with our removers and then kind of swap the Thieves Gloves back and forth, but I could see it. It's close between that and Edge of Night. And nice, we hit the Fiora 2. These are pretty good items on Fiora 2, so probably just going to throw the Hodge onto Shen. And now we're in a top 2 situation. If we lose this, I am quitting TFT for a week because this guy's got 4 HP, I'm at 94 HP, and I've lost too many of these to count, so I'm definitely feeling the pressure here, like, don't mess this up. His board's decent. 4 Vanguard, Voyager, sort of like a Voyager Bard Sona board, something that I play a lot of. Um, a 3 Shepherd, couple Voyager. Bard just wants damage items. Don't exactly know how I lost that fight, but I think it had to do with Nunu's ability. Probably just messed up the left side of my board, so let's see what I end up doing. Okay, yeah. So I think what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this guy think that I sort of gave up, and then he's like, "All right, free dub. This guy's just sort of done." And then it's dumb. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna try to switch all my units to the other side, um, and see if I could cheese him. He reads it. Yeah, not the most genius idea there, buddy, but it was a nice try. Yeah. So I think here, the main disadvantage of why we're losing and is the way we're positioning, right? So the same reason that I said split positioning was good earlier, in this case I don't think it is, just because with the split positioning, you either want to split up your carries, which kind of makes them a little bit vulnerable, just because, do you put Kindred on the weak side? Do you put Yi on the weak side? And then also if you group them up all on the same side, then they're just going to get Nunu ulted. So our new ability. So yeah, I think here we just sort of stop messing around, split up our carries a little bit better. Still all on the left, but Nunu's cast gets our front line. It doesn't get our back line, but also we're away from the Nunu, and we kind of just rip through the other units, and it's a nice first. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this kind of style of video. I'm thinking about doing this a little bit more often, mostly because I'm not really at the point where I'm getting a lot of views on Twitch, and so I'm not really talking or engaging with the chat that much. And I'm kind of just really focused on playing the game. So this is kind of a fun way to review my games, kind of see what I could do better. I'm not just going to pick games where I go first. I might pick games where I top four. I might pick games where I get a fifth, and I thought, wow, like I was guaranteed a top four this game. I thought I was going to win out. What happened? But I thought for the first one, this was kind of a good example because I actually had a friend ask me about, oh, what do you think of Yi? And I told him, I think it's really good for my head. And he was like, what? I don't really get that. So maybe if it helps him, I thought it would be a good idea for a video. Let me know if you guys enjoy it. Leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.